Thank you for coming back to this last session that we have for you today. I am very excited to introduce the group of speakers for today. You have this time you will meet three amazing Saknistas who all have attended the community college. Today they're here to share their story, so please ask them any questions you might have.
Yes.
Okay, so please welcome. I will introduce them. One moment. Okay. So first speaker is Sonia Bustos. Sonia is a biomedical research scientist with experience in government, industry, and academic settings. She's currently a graduate student at Stanford University, where she's studying mechanisms associated with tissue regeneration. Sonia has attended Los Medanos College in California. Cassandra, this spring graduated from Cuyamaca College and is currently waiting on the acceptance from the University of San Diego for spring 2023 to pursue a bachelor's degree in biochemistry. During the summer, Cassandra participated in the USD National Science Foundation, RU, as an undergraduate research, and now she's working at the Center of Aquaculture Technologies. Her long-term goals are to become a genetics counselor and receive a PhD. And Tyler Adamson is currently the director of the Maryland Cancer Registry, where he provides strategic planning, direction, and guidance on all epidemiology and program evaluation efforts. Tyler holds an MPH in health policy and epidemiology from the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health and a BSc in molecular biology and anthropology from the University of Washington. Tyler has attended Clark College. Thank you to our speakers for making the time to be with us today and share the stories. I would like to start this conversation. I will stop sharing my screen. Please join us on cameras, and I would like to start this conversation with Sonia.
And I think it's an interesting one because I started at community college. And if anybody has any questions from community college, what I did during my please let me know. I want to help in my and if Karina, you want me to think experience.
Sonia, was it just me or other people could not hear? Sonia, I'm so sorry. I think the internet connection was not really good and we could not hear your introduction at all. How about we go to Cassandra? Maybe try to sign out and join back in. Let's go to Cassandra and then we'll come back to Sarah.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Cassandra Arellano. I went to Cuyamaca Community College, and like she said, I'm currently working at the Center of Aquaculture Technologies. Are we still doing introductions or are we starting our presentation?
You can go ahead and.
Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, so I have a couple slides that I wanted to share mostly, so I don't forget anything to say. Let's see. Okay, so this is who I am. My name, like I said, Cassandra Arellano. I live in San Diego, California. My major is biochemistry. I put my email there in case anybody has any questions. They wanted to reach out to me afterwards. This is kind of a roadmap of the schools that I've been to, what I have been going on and so on, and just sharing my story. So I did graduate from San Ysidro High School in 2018. After that, I went straight to Grossmont College beginning fall of 2018. I wasn't really I didn't find it so important for me to go to a four-year university right after high school, just because I wasn't ready for such a big transition. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I didn't feel so attached to a school yet where I was like, oh, I really want to go here. And especially the pricing of universities, I just felt more comfortable going straight to community college. So I started at Grossmont College and I slowly moved to Cuyamaca College. They are in a joint district, which is great because whatever classes Grossmont doesn't have, I can go to Cuyamaca and it's all on one transcript, which is perfect. And I was there for a couple years doing my science courses and stood there predominantly. I participated in the STEM program there where I met a great mentor named Christina Burnett, who has helped me so much. I definitely would not be where I am today without her. As I was attending Cuyamaca College, I was as well participating in women's soccer there. I have been an athlete for most of my life. Graduating high school, I had decided that I was going to stop sports. I had multiple sports scholarships, but I decided not to take them. But when I got to college, I was still missing the environment and how well sports kept me in a good schedule. So I decided to try it again, which was great. It helped me like always. And then I did end up transferring to Arizona Christian University off of a soccer scholarship, which was nice. However, the transition was quite difficult and I just decided to come back to San Diego. Right when I knew that Arizona wasn't a fit for me, I got back in contact with my mentor, Ms. Burnett, and I continued back at Cuyamaca, finishing all credits that I needed to transfer and so on. And that's kind of where I finished off with Cuyamaca currently. And currently I'm taking a gap semester right now, just figuring out what I'm doing next. Because this past summer, I was a part of the USD National Science Foundation undergraduate research program. It was a 10-week long program where I was living on campus and doing research. So that was a lot of work. A lot of my focus, my time, and my energy went there. So that's why I decided this fall to take a gap semester, figure out exactly what I wanted to do next. I did hear back. As I was applying for universities for fall, I heard back from UCSD that I got accepted, but like I said before, I just didn't feel ready. I was feeling a little overwhelmed with my workload, so I decided to decline. And then take the gap semester that I had decided. And then I'm thinking I may go to USD in spring to continue my research. So kind of just showing and explaining my roadmap and letting you know that it doesn't always go in a straight line and it doesn't go exactly how you think it's going to go, but it's going to go somewhere. And wherever it ends up, it's because that's where you're supposed to be. As I was going through my college career, I continued to think, oh, I'm going to go to UCSD. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I would have never thought I would even just decline UCSD and be thinking of something else. But I think it was one of the best decisions that I could have made for myself and not just jump into it and be okay with that. And then next, I just wanted to share of kind of what I'm doing, what I've been up to, and kind of how community college has built me up and what it has enabled me to do for myself. So what I'm currently doing now is, as I said before, I work for the Center of Aquacultural Technologies. It's a full research and development, but also a contract work lab, meaning we get samples and assignments from different industries, schools, governments to test the genetics of fish. And it's just to enhance the sustainability and efficiency of aquaculture. The image in the middle is kind of usually how my workday looks like, just getting a bunch of different samples, getting them ready to be tested. And like I've said before, I had a mentor at Cuyamaca, and that was my first time having a mentor. And that was very eye-opening and welcoming and warming to know I had a mentor. So I continued to look for the path of mentorship. The last what I've participated in before is the SPAM, the Scripps Research mentorship program, which helped me out very much, especially when I started to apply for undergraduate research programs. That was really nice. And then I'm currently participating in the SACNAS mentorship program that just started like last week. So that's been really nice to go through as well. And then last year I received the travel scholarship to attend their conference, and I'm still hoping that I'll be able to attend this year. And as I've said before, I participated in the research program at USD this past summer. What I was doing is I was working with Dr. Anthony Bell, stabilizing the crossover region of four-way junctions using locked nucleic acids. So there's a picture of how my lab looked like, mostly running gels and testing the affinity for it. So it's just kind of like an overview of how much community college did for me and kind of prepared me to tackle all of these obstacles, or just prepare me to get to what was next. And that's basically all I have. And just any tips for anybody is don't steer away from difficult classes and teachers. They're the ones who could probably prepare you the most for what's next. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to feel uncomfortable. For me, I think you need to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Nothing's ever is going to feel perfect, but that is part of the process. And lastly, seeing every opportunity as a way to network and create mentors. Everyone I meet, whether it's a professor, a student, I always see how the interaction is going to benefit me or how it can benefit them, and just take whatever you can get out of it, and it'll be worth it. So yeah, that was my presentation. Thank you for listening. And of course, if you guys have any questions, I can put my email in the chat, and you guys can feel free to email me.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. And we will get back to you with more questions after we hear everyone. And thank you for mentioning our new mass program at SACNAS. As Cassandra said, we are in the second cohort right now. It's going until end of December, but we will start accepting applications closer to the end of this year. So if you are interested in finding a mentor within SACNAS community, make sure to sign up. It's free of charge, and it's a great opportunity to meet a professional like-minded who can help you reach your goals. Can we go back to Sonia and hear from you and your story?
Hello, can you guys hear me? Awesome. I'm joining from my cell phone. I also had slides, but because I'm having technical difficulties, I'll just kind of speak through the points I wanted to make. So I'll briefly reintroduce myself, just kind of remind you of like a little bit of my background. My name is Sonia Bustos. I was originally born in California, but I grew up in Mexico. And I came back to the US when I was about 10. And at the time, you know, my parents didn't really know anything about college. And I had older sisters, but they also like didn't know anything about college. So we had to learn to navigate like everything by ourselves, like the whole financial aid institution and classes and all of that. So it was really hard for me. And I ultimately decided to go to community college. And I think that if I were to do this all over again, I would still do community college again, because it was such a good experience for me. I had the best professors and the best mentors there. So I actually do miss it. Like, I think one of my long-term career goals is to go back and become a professor at a community college, because I think that was like the best community for me. So as Katrina mentioned, I'm currently a grad student at Stanford. And I guess I'll talk a little bit about like what I did in community college and along the way to get to where I am today. So when I was at the community college, I was working like, I think it was 3 part-time jobs and taking a lot of honors classes and science classes. And it was really hard for me to like find a balance between work and school and maintaining like good mental health. So that's something that I wish I would have done differently when I was a student, like making sure like that I'm taking care of and protecting my energy and my time. Yeah, that was really hard for me, but I think I had a really good support system, and I found these mentors through a lot of the classes I took. So, for example, in my biology class, I would always go to office hours and like I would start talking to my professor, and that's how we kind of started building connections and relationships with people who can also advocate for you later on, like when you're applying. If you want to go to grad school and you want to apply, tapping into those resources can be really helpful. So yeah, as a community college, I also did 4 summer research internships. So I worked at the Medical University of South Carolina, which was in Charleston. And that itself was like a really hard experience for me because at the community college, we don't really have like research laboratories or like research mentors. So I had to learn to like navigate those spaces by myself. And after that, I decided to go to the National Institutes of Health. So I moved to DC and I was working there for like 3 months. I did that twice. And I also did an internship with NASA because I was like interested in the intersection between like space engineering and biology. I ended up pursuing more of like a biomedical research concentration, and I went on to transfer to UCLA. And if you're curious about opportunities at UCLA or what that transfer experience was like for me, please reach out to me directly because I have a lot to say about that. I really did struggle. Like I struggled academically and I struggled to like find a good community. So through those experiences, I think I've grown a lot and learned a lot about how to advocate for myself and the importance of having good mentors in your life. So after graduating from UCLA, I got hired as a lab tech in the same lab I worked in as an undergrad. And then I worked there for 2 years. And now I'm currently a grad student at Stanford. So that's kind of like the full story of where I started and where I am now. But if you have any questions about like experiences I had along the way, or if you want me to elaborate on any particular things, please let me know. I also know a lot about like scholarships for undergrads and like how to make sure that you're not taking out any loans because like you shouldn't. There's so much out there and I'm sure everybody's amazing. So come talk to me about how to get competitive scholarships to support you so you don't have to work as hard. So yeah, that's pretty much me. Yeah, also ask me about my research. I love to talk about that and SACNAS. I'm going to Puerto Rico in the fall, so if any of you guys are going, let's connect. And I always like to mentor students, particularly at the community college level. But I'll stop here. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much, Sonia. And yay for a SACNAS conference that is happening at the end of October in Puerto Rico. So for some of our attendees who are new to SACNAS, that's our largest event of the year where we gather, as we like to call SACNAS Familia, and about 5,000 people, and we sit together in the large room and have meals together. Okay, next, let's see if Tyler is there and can join us. I know he was having some difficulties.
Does this work?
Yes, we see you and we hear you. Welcome.
Cool. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here and talk with all of you. Heard a little about me. So in Washington State, there's a program called Running Start, which you take community college classes in high school. So that's where I started community college. And then I sort of thought about what my next steps were as I was working almost full time and decided I wanted to stay at the community college because I had a really great experience. So I stuck around for another 2 years, taking all my prereqs. Originally, I was going to do the medicine route, and I have changed a number of times since then. But then decided to transfer to the University of Washington. I originally wanted to go out of state, but realized the University of Washington is a great institution, and it was, in my state, a couple hours away from where I grew up, and it was relatively cheap. And have since, I don't regret that decision at all. And so in undergrad, the University of Washington, I studied molecular biology and anthropology, like Katarina mentioned, and did some bench work, was really involved in community engagement and public health programs, as well as different leadership stuff on campus. And, you know, I worked for a number of years. First, I worked at Amazon for a little while, decided I hated industry and I didn't want to do it anymore. So went back to managing community health programs and doing HIV research. And, you know, at some point I decided, hey, you know, I think it's time to go back to school. I really love being in school and the learning process. And so decided to move to the East Coast and do my master's in public health at Hopkins, in epidemiology and health policy, and did a lot of research there with my advisor, and, you know, thinking about how policy can better improve community health, individual health, but also trying to apply, you know, my training in science and research to make evidence-based policy. So did a short stint in the Maryland legislature. I was on Capitol Hill for a year and a half. And then did some stuff with the Department of Defense. And now I'm back at the Maryland Department of Health managing the Maryland Cancer Registry, which I'm happy to talk more about. But I think I would echo similar sentiments to what both Cassandra and Sonia have mentioned. You know, find people who can serve as a resource for you and support you, both in, you know, your educational pursuits, your extracurricular pursuits, you know, help you refine what you're interested in, what you would want. But also think about, you know, start to pursue opportunities. For me, it was a matter of finding things I didn't want to do. You know, bench science is one thing I didn't want to do. After I did it, was like, nope, don't like this. But really, you know, be willing to try new things and see what do you think. That's kind of the process of learning what you enjoy and what you don't. I would say the other thing is be open to, you know, new experiences might put you out your comfort zone, sort of as Cassandra was talking about, and really find the professor you connect with, or that you find their material interesting, and really, you know, go to office hours, have conversations. So often no one shows up to office hours, so you can be the only one and have a great conversation with whatever faculty, whether you're at community college, whether you're at university level, it doesn't matter. Community college, I think, is a really underappreciated place, and there's a lot of resources, a lot of people who are really dedicated to making you succeed, so utilize them and rely on them. And I still talk to faculty that I took classes with at community college, so it's not just a one-off thing. You know, can be a long-term relationship. Always let them know what's going on in my life and any updates, and they're always happy to serve as a resource or a reference. And I think the last thing I would say is, as someone talked about earlier, like, take your time, enjoy things. Like, one, being an adult is terrible. I don't recommend it. But like, take your time. It's such a great time to be at the university and studying. Like, you can take time to explore stuff or try new things. And when you're working, like, you don't get that freedom anymore. So enjoy it while you can, and be willing to try new things to explore. And, you know, sometimes for me, it was a matter of just like, what can I find on the internet, and see, like, you know, internship or something. You know, coming from a family where I was the first person to go to college, like, navigating that process is really difficult. And so rely on people like us, or people that you know, or really just like Google things on the internet and see what's available and pursue those things. There's no, you know, I feel like the resources that are out there are really endless. It's just a matter of finding ones that fit what you are interested in. But I'll leave it at that. I'll put my email in the chat for anyone to reach out about public health, medicine, anything really. Please let me know how I can be of assistance to you. But thanks for participating.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for sharing your story. I would like our speakers to go on the camera, because we want to see you. And for our audience, this is the time for you to ask any questions you might have. Sonia, Cassandra, Tyler, ask any questions you might have. There are no wrong or silly questions. My first question is to the group is, why did you go into science? Since I have Sonia on the camera, but she's maybe on the phone and doesn't hear.
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
Yes. Why did you choose to go into science?
I can talk a little bit about that. So at the community college, we didn't really know that research was something you could do. And I was like, I knew that I wanted to major in biology because I was always interested in like learning about medicine. And I knew I didn't want to be a doctor, but I was curious to know like, how do people like design medicine? How do you discover treatments for disease? And I was very lucky that I had a mentor. Her name was Nicole Traeger. She was the MESA program director, and she was like, oh, you could also like discover things even though you're not like a doctor. And so she invited me to do this research internship, or she invited me to apply to do a research internship in South Carolina. And so after my first research experience, I discovered that that's something I really, really wanted to do. And the feeling that you get when you discover something new is like, it's impossible to describe like how happy and like exciting that is. And I think that just like took off even after, it took off especially after the SACNAS conferences I went to. So I gave a talk at the 2017 SACNAS conference and I won a presentation award. And it just made me feel so good that like you can go travel all over the world and talk about your findings and be part of a really cool community of people who really want to make the world a better place. And so that's why I started in science and why I'm still in science.
Thank you.
I can share my my response. I definitely had absolutely no idea I was gonna go in science. High school, there was not much that interested me. I was, just doing my thing. I was really into big to athletics. And I would say possibly my senior year, I started to get more into healthcare. So nursing, doctor, medical assistant. And then once I got into community college, I started to take my biology courses and ecology. And that's where I just that's where my interest came from. And that's where I decided to deep diver and see what more it could offer me, what more is in there. So definitely for me, I'm learning more every semester. I would not be able to say that last year at this time, I knew anything about research. I did not even know about it. I had no clue. For me, that's why I believe so strongly and speak so highly about mentorship and advocating for yourself, speaking to others, picking everybody's brains, asking questions, because every conversation I have with someone, I learn something new. And that's definitely what got me to where I am today. I would have had no clue that I want to go into genetics, a possible genetics counselor, do clinical trials, anything like that. I had no idea. And I'm still learning things every week, every day. I'm reaching out to genetic counselors, asking them just to tell me their story, tell me what you did. And people get personal and they share with you their experiences because they know exactly the position that you're in because they were in that same position one day. And that's even where I'm at now, speaking to you guys. So that's kind of how I got to where I am.
Thank you, Cassandra. We have a question in the chat. What is something you know now that you wished you learned earlier? Who would like to answer that question? Or you can just take turns answering.
I can answer, pop on. What do I wish I knew now? I wish I knew not to be so afraid, to be so hesitant, to be so anxious, to be nervous. Like I said, once you tell people the type of help you need, you open up to what you're interested in, what pathway you're looking at, or even if you don't know anything at all, people are more than willing and are so happy that you're asking for help. You are interested in A, B, C, and D. And, you know, you may find someone that can't help you at all, and that's okay, but at least you know. So I think it would just be, you know, feeling more comfortable in myself and believing in myself and just going out there and doing your thing and being okay with the process and being patient.
That's great.
I guess I can also add to that a little more. I think at the time when I was a community college student, I always felt like I was not good enough, or that people that were at a UC or a four-year institution were smarter, that were better in one way or another. And that is totally not the case. I think that my superpower is that I went to community college and that I had really good connections with people early on. And I wish I would have understood that early on, that going to community college, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. And I think you guys should all like take that and be proud of where you are and where you come from. And like, don't let anybody intimidate you or make you feel like you're less or inferior, because you're not. And I think the imposter fears really kicked in when I went to UCLA, when I transferred over. But now I realize that, you know, there's no need for that stuff. Like, you need to remind yourself how amazing you are. Like, look at your CV and look at how much you've accomplished and feel proud of like your potential as a student and as a person, as a scientist, and remember that. I think that's really important.
Tyler, would you like to chime in?
Yeah, sorry, my cat ate something, so I'm driving, but I'll when I get to the clinic, I'll turn my camera on. I think one of the things that I learned very late was that there's this belief that research is this like very high level way of thinking and like activities that you do and you're in a lab and doing all this fancy stuff, but like research can literally be anything. Like, if you are interested in some worm that you find in the dirt, whatever, I don't know what it is, like a very niche thing, like that's research. Like, you can do whatever you want. That's the exciting part about science, is like there's always questions to ask, there's always topics to be explored, and you know, all you need is someone who can kind of show you the way and sort of show you how it happens and what you do, and like anyone could do it. It's not this, you know, very like exclusive thing that you can do. Like, if you have a data set, you can do research. That's all you need. Like, and I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about, you know, if they have an interest and they want to explore stuff, like, please reach out to me. I'm happy to find a way to get you connected to something, and mentor you in the way that the process works, so that anyone can do it. It's not limited to just, you know, bench science or anything like that. And a lot of the stuff that we do is not necessarily the traditional bench science research that you think about. So keep that in mind. I think also, as has been mentioned, like, just ask people, send them an email. The worst they can say is not no or not respond. But a lot of the times people are more than happy to connect you with somebody they know, or point you in a direction for something. And people are there to support you, so take advantage of it.
Great advice. And when they don't respond, don't take it personal. Find another person to reach out to. Our next question is, how do we approach past professors within our major that we need help and would appreciate their time to help us navigating our transfer journey, talking about career options?
Can you say the last part again? Sorry, I missed it.
Reach out to past professors within the major and let them know that they need help, and I would appreciate their time to help out navigating our transfer journey, talking about career options.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was a question. Yes, absolutely. Reach out to people, ask them. I'm more than happy to help.
Yeah, I would just definitely reiterate what Tyler said. Just ask. A lot of professors go into the industry knowing that they're there to at some point offer you that type of aid. And they really enjoy that part of their job as well. They like when you go and talk to them and pick their brains and just vent to them or let them know what's going on. Because like I've said before, they were in your exact same shoes. They did not all have it figured out either. So just go talk to them. They're regular people as well. Just take the time, reach out to them through email, pop in their office hours. Usually they don't have a lot of people there at their office hours, so they're just there alone. So take that time to just really get to know them, or just go say hi, and they remember and they recognize and they love that. I stay in contact with a lot of my professors, with a lot of my mentors. Like this summer at the end of my research program, we had a colloquium where we presented our research programs, and I invited my mentors and they all came. They were so happy. They were taking pictures of me. It was like the cutest thing ever. Just because they're so proud of you. They love to see you grow, and they're a part of your process as well. So don't feel like they're not there for you.
Thank you, that's wonderful. Our next question is, I want to ask the panel, it's Carolee, what advice would they give students as they progress in STEM academically and professionally on navigating spaces that are dominated by a certain demographic that is not reflective of their own identity, such as gender, race, and ethnicity?
I think I can speak a little bit to this because I'm at Stanford right now, and there aren't that many Latinos or people of color in my department and in my program in general. And this is not something that's new to me. Even when I was working at the Medical University of South Carolina, I was the only Latina in my summer program, and I definitely felt like people were not really friendly. I felt like I wasn't really being supported. And unfortunately, it's something that we all have to tackle with. I think this problem is unfortunately like not going away anytime soon. So I think that it really helps to find community and find mentors who either are allies to the identity that you belong in, or who kind of represent your cultural background or your identities as well. So for me, like, how did I find those communities? At UCLA, I was part of a McNair research program. It's basically a research program for Latinos and people of color who come from low income backgrounds. And so that was a space where I was able to like make friends who look like me and find professors who look like me. And that really made a difference in like my happiness and my well-being, I think, because it can be really hard to feel like you don't belong. At Stanford, there's like a summer program where they try to like include people who come from like marginalized communities. So definitely, like, I think that there is a change that people want to be more inclusive and be more diverse. But I gotta say, the best thing you can do is just look for those few people, if there are any, and try to like have coffee with them or have lunch with them and ask them about their experiences and what kind of resources they have. Because having a good friend or a good mentor can make a difference in the world when you feel like you're struggling academically or professionally. And just a plug, I'm also always like available to help students. Like, find me on LinkedIn, connect with me, reach out. Like, I can't emphasize how much it's important to build a community amongst ourselves and support each other.
Thank you, Sonia. And I will just add to that, as I previously mentioned about SACNA's MAS program, join in and be in the community of professionals who look like you and who you can reach out and ask these questions and so much more, how to navigate these spaces where maybe you are the only one. Thank you for that question. That was great. Question for Cassandra. Was it hard to step away from soccer when you entered college? I'm going through the same thing, and it's kind of giving me an identity crisis. Also, how were you able to manage soccer and your STEM classes?
It was extremely hard, and it still is really hard. Especially how invested I was. I was playing, in the top of the most top competitive teams in San Diego, traveling. That was for a time what I thought my career was going to be for the rest of my life. I had multiple scholarships from different universities and for multiple different sports. That's what I did for years and years and years. It was hard, but like I said, graduating high school, I played every sport possible. I was even a performer. I danced, and I said to myself, okay, like I think I'm gonna go into healthcare. I think I'm gonna go into science. So I left it. And then, like I said, I felt like my identity, I didn't feel myself. I missed the 5 a.m. practice workout, after shower, change, go eat breakfast, like that routine that it helped me and helped me stay fit. And that also helped my mental health. I missed it. So I went back into it and I still did it. And like now that I'm not into it anymore, I think the most important thing is just take from what you learned from it. If you like that routine, if you like that schedule, make that same schedule for yourself now. Go to the gym at 5 in the morning, have breakfast after, do what you would do in a team, and connect with others. If you have friends that you can go to the gym with, work out with, and do that, that's great. Let's see what else. And still stay in contact with the sport. I still play in leagues here in San Diego. I'm still very in touch with everybody, doing everything I can with that. But definitely school is my priority, and working on that is my priority. But I would say, if it's your passion, if there's something itching in you that you're like, man, I just miss it so much, then don't let it go. Listen to that little voice in your head and see how much more you can chase it for. Like I said, I went to Arizona Christian University. I was there for a semester doing university soccer, and I'm so glad I did. Although I came back because I didn't like it over there, I would not change any decision that I made. See how far you can go, and if you can make it work. I remember when I was in community college and I was playing soccer there, someone told me, well, you have to pick. You can't do both. You can't be a biology major and be an athlete. You cannot do it, they told me. And I said, then watch me. That's exactly what I said. And then I was like, watch me, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it till I want to do it, not because you told me I can't. If I leave it, it's because I want to leave it, not because you told me that I have to. And that's what I did. And my team supported me. My coaches supported me. I was studying during bus rides. I was studying before practice, after practice, kicking the ball. I was like, can you ask me this? What about this? And just talking, So if you have that itch, if you're still struggling, then go for it. Keep doing it. Everybody's going to support you. But if you do find yourself having to get out of that routine, then continue to make that routine that you find is good for yourself, and try to stick into it. Find little leagues that you can play in, because there's so much you can do. You just have to find it. You just got to put yourself out there, ask questions. So yeah.
Thank you. Sometimes it's the biggest motivation when people tell you you cannot do it.
Yeah, I was like, really? Watch me. And I did it for a while. I did it for years after they told me that. So, and I felt like when I wanted to finish it, it was going to be because of me. So definitely continue that. And I can't see who asked the question, but I did include my my email. So if you have any other questions or anything, like, feel free to reach out to me.
I think this ties into one of the other questions about work-life balance. And I guess I'll add a little bit about my experiences too. I consider myself like an artist on top of a scientist. So for me, as an undergrad and as a grad student, it's been so important to make time for my hobbies. Because for many reasons. One, it helps me stay happy and motivated. But two, it's whenever anything else is not working, whenever your science isn't working, your grades are not well, feeling like you have an outlet to like express yourself and like have something that makes you feel happy and successful, or like you're good at something, can really make a difference as well in your happiness and well-being. And in terms of work-life balance, I feel like that is like one of the most difficult things to accomplish. I don't think there's a single person that definitely has a perfect work-life balance, but I think that there is something about compromises, right? So sometimes like you have to compromise on your time with your family to like study a little more, but it's so important to like then come back and make up for the compromises that you're making, right? So like for me, when I was at UCLA, I really missed my family. I felt like I was not happy because I was away from my parents and my sisters. So once a month I took a train ride home, and it was like a 7-hour train ride, but I did it because it was important for me to make sure I was making time for my family and that I was like reconnecting with my friends. And that's something that's so important because academia can be so isolating sometimes, and making sure you have a good support system can really make a difference in your career, in your life, in your happiness and well-being.
Thank you, Sonia. Our panel is coming closer, and I can't believe how fast the time passed. But this is your chance. If you have any question to our panelists, please submit them now. And to our panelists, maybe you would like to share some wisdom, some piece of advice to our current community college students. Last words.
I wanted to go back to the question
Tyler, yes,
that
please.
Sonia answered about navigating spaces where people do not reflect who you are and your community that you come from. I say this as someone who's incredibly confrontational and will jump at any opportunity to start something when people are like uncomfortable spaces. So you're probably not like that, and that's fine. But do never be afraid to show up with who you are and what you stand for, because so often, more often than not, there are not people who look like you, or they do and they're afraid to say something. So your ability to speak up also can unconsciously liberate others to do the same, even if it's not, like, I'm a man and I admit that I am privileged in that sense, but like I'm also gay, I'm a Latino, so making space for yourself also allow open space for others. So don't always be afraid to do that. Just be strategic about it. And the other thing I would say is, I remember I would go to conversations like this and always be like, oh, that was really lovely, and that was it, right? Like, please do not be afraid to reach out to people, whether it's me, whether it's the other two, or any of us. Please, please, please reach out. Like, this is why we do these things, is because we care deeply, we've been through it, and we're here to help you do the same. And the only way we dismantle the white supremacist thing that is academia is by supporting one another and bringing each other along. So please, please, please reach out for whatever reason, whatever you need. Like, we're here for you. So please do not hesitate.
Yeah, I definitely would love to just, yes, what Tyler said, yes, definitely. Me, I'm Latina, I'm Mexican, Puerto Rican, I'm young, I'm 22 years old. I have lots of experience under my belt working as a lab technician already in research, having an idea of where I want to go, what career I want. I'm a big go-getter. I have attitude. I speak up for myself all the time. And like Tyler says, don't be afraid to be yourself. Be yourself, put yourself out there, and people are going to get intimidated. People may look at you funny, but they're gonna start to appreciate it, and they're gonna understand you, and they're gonna respect you. So do what you want to do, chase your dreams, don't be afraid, and just go do it, and in a good way. Nothing crazy, but definitely, just be yourself, and you're not alone. That's exactly why we're here. Just this past month, I've never did public speaking like this. I've never been in cohorts, and this past month I've been a part of 5, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never done this. But like Tyler said, feel free to reach out to us. Anything you guys need, if we can help you in any way.
Yeah, I guess I'll add a couple of things. I have two pieces of advice. One is, I know it's going to be really hard, but try not to compare yourself with others. I think that that is like the most negative thing you can do for yourself and for your career, because we all come from different and amazing backgrounds. So you have to believe in yourself and know that you have the potential to get to where you want to be. It may take you 5 years, it may take you 1 year. It doesn't matter how long it takes or how you get there. Just like have this trust in yourself that you will get to where you need to be, and you just have to trust yourself, because I think that being in a community where there aren't people who look like you and there may be people who doubt you, it's easy to doubt yourself as well. But you have to remember that, like, no matter what people say or what people do, like, just believe in yourself. I think that's the most important thing. Like, and I can speak from experience, because when I was recently applying to graduate school, I had this like idea that I wasn't going to get in anywhere. And I was like battling imposter fears, like, oh no, what am I doing applying to graduate school? I'm never going to get in. And when I got into all the schools I applied to, and then it was like, wow, like, how did this happen? But it's like, you know, you have the potential. You're already made it to community college. You're taking your classes. You're showing up. So just keep doing that. Keep showing up for yourself and keep advocating for yourself. And like, you know, things will work out. And no matter how hard things get, you'll make it. I can sit here and tell you 1,000 stories about how I failed all of my exams at UCLA, how I almost dropped out of school because I had a 2.0 GPA, but I still made it. So if I did it, you can too, and reach out to me anytime. I'll drop my email on the channel. And yeah, like I said, we're all here to help. We're all one community of support. So hope to see you guys in person in Puerto Rico, but if you can't meet, then reach out definitely.
Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. Yes.
Let me say one last thing.
Yes,
Sorry.
Tyler.
It can be really intimidating because, you know, you're younger in your career, or you're still at the community college level, whatever it may be, like, because you have to navigate these power imbalances with really wealthy, privileged white people most of the time, and who, you know, their parents are academics or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm more than happy to go fight and throw figurative hands for anybody. Like, let me do it for you. I'm happy to do it. I don't care about, I don't need to worry about my career anymore because I'm already doing what I'm doing. Like, let us fight and advocate for you on your behalf. Like, that's what we're here for. And do not be afraid to let someone do that for you, because that's how oftentimes if we don't, like, I think I can speak for all of us who were talking, like, we wouldn't be where we were if people didn't do that for us. So let us be the ones who can do it for you.
Yes.
Also, I don't condone violence unless it's necessary, but only in the figurative.
Thank you for that note. Yes, and I encourage you, I'm going to drop my email in the chat. So if you want to learn more about SACNAS and how you can join for future events, how you can participate in MAS program, you want to learn more about our conference, please feel free to reach out, and I'll connect you to other people and tell you more about what programs we have at SACNAS. It is an amazing community. Okay, thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you for our speakers for your time taken from your busy schedules, for joining us today. It's Friday, almost the weekend. Thank you to our audience for great questions, but please don't go yet. I need you here for a few more minutes because we have raffle prizes. We have gift cards. We will award 5 people with the Amazon gift cards. So let's see, and thank you to our panelists. They are sharing their emails in the chat. Let me share this exciting website they will have. We have all participants who are present at the moment. So let's select 5. And what I would ask you to do in our audience, if your name came up and you're selected, please write your email in the chat so we make sure we can contact you and award you with $25 Amazon. So let's do first one. It's Evelyn. We don't know your last name, but I hope you're watching and you just won a gift card. Awesome. One more. Evelyn, you almost won again, but Gabriela Gonzalez, congratulations. Please drop your email address. Amy Carranza. Dominic Alvarez. Okay, and our last winner for today. Okay, I should be removing people and not closing. Gabriela, we will do it one more time because Gabriela already won. Clarissa Trevino, congratulations. Okay, congrats everyone. Please drop your emails in the chat. And so finally, again, thank you so much for today. It has been a great time to spend with all of you. I want to let you know SACNAS is a data-driven organization and your feedback is essential for us as we continue to improve our programs to better serve you. You will be receiving an email with a short evaluation survey in the next hour. So please, please, please take the time to fill it out. It should not take longer than a minute, but that feedback is so valuable for us. Thank you all again for attending the 2022 SACNAS Community College Day. I hope you all enjoyed your time and are living equipped and energized for your next steps in your academic career. You can connect with us. There's a Twitter, we are on Instagram, on Facebook, on all the social media platforms, and our website is sacnas.org. I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye.